What's up, whiskey lovers? So, day one of 31 days of Australian whiskies. I can't wait. What can I say? This is an idea I've been thinking of for a while. As you know, with the COVID going on, there's some issues. We can't travel. So it means that I can't get to Tasmania and have what the one thing I wanted to do was Tasmanian Whiskey Week. So I'm going to bring Australian whiskey to me. I've had a pretty good collection for a little while, but I've teamed up with a few different places, and I've got like Whiskey Loot, and I've got the Australian sample pack from that one. Today's one though, and this is a big shout out to White Possum. This is the Australian Whisky Flight. This is 12 whiskies in this. They're all 30 mils. Yes, they're quite small, but it gives you a really good tasting starter, I guess, for Australian whiskies. They do gin and some other stuff as well. So I'll put the link on all of my posts. So if you are interested in jumping on board and having a look, grab a pack because I'm pretty keen to see how all this goes. And just remember one thing, when you're watching my videos, I'm only talking about what I like. I know what I like. It could be completely different for you. So if I don't like something, still try it, because at the end of the day, you might absolutely love it. So today's one, as you already know from the description, is the Whippersnapper. It's from the Whippersnapper distillery, and it's the Upshot whiskey. Now, I don't know if that'll come into focus at all. Probably not. There we go. Anyways, so this is from Perth, Western Australia. It's run by two brothers, or brother-in-laws, I should say. Now, this is a 43%, and they come in 700 mils. So good on you boys for having a 700 mil bottle, unlike everyone else does 500 mil bottles in Australia. Anyways, I get it. I understand the production, all that kind of stuff. I think the price is around $98. You might be able to get it for a bit discounted at certain stores and stuff like that, but it's budget around $100 and see how you go. Now, from the information that I've got, they started out making moonshine, and then from the moonshine, once they started to get a bit of name, they started aging moonshine in barrels. Now, I don't know if it was the same barrels as these, but they did that for around 6 weeks to get a bit of color into it, and then they used that to get a bit more extra flavor into it. And the bar scene from Perth is what actually I think started them or got them their name. A bartender friend of ours from Perth actually mentioned about their moonshine when I was telling them I was doing this, and they were a little bit excited because they said it was the best moonshine they've ever had. So that's quite interesting. Now, this whiskey is American style whiskey, so this has an E in it, whiskey with an E. Now, we only have probably 3 or 4 or 5 different ones in Australia that do the E's. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can put in the comments, name them all if you need be. Now, oof, this one's leaking. Yum. Now, awards. They've won a fair bit of awards, so I am pretty keen to open this up and see how it goes. I think the one that I remember they had was the San Francisco. They got the Best International Corn Whiskey Award, which is good, or they got a gold award or something like that. And from my memory, they used 100% Western Australian wheat. So I think it was 80%. No, not wheat. These 100% grain from Western Australia. I think 80% of it was corn, 10% was malted barley, and 10% was wheat. I hope I've got that right. The cool thing is they've actually got a cask strength, which is 64%. Now, this is 43, so another 23%. Quick math. Another 23% on top. That will be interesting. So we'll see how we go. I've been told this is a very smooth whiskey to have. Now, the White Possum, whitepossum.com.au, just so you're aware. Every single whiskey they've got on there. They've got 12 whiskies in this flight. Now, I've actually had 2 of them before. That's okay because they're bloody good whiskies. So it's been worthwhile getting this pack because I've been able to sample a lot that I probably wouldn't have been able to either afford or I wouldn't have even bothered to look at. Now, I will say this. Upshot was probably not one of the ones that I would have bought originally in my collection if I was to buy bottles all the way through. So I'm happy I've got it. Let's just see if it matches up. But the information, like Whiskey Loot, the information is on the booklets here. So let's have a quick look. The distillery. Yep, it's in East Perth in WA. Whippersnapper Distillery is a tribute to 2 World War II veterans who flew fighter jets and drank whiskey. Their love of the spirit evolved into one of the veterans running a backyard moonshine distillery operation in Perth. Eventually, the recipes and distilling knowledge were handed down to Al and Jimmy, the masterminds behind the distillery as it is today. It's a local affair. All of their ingredients used to make the product are sourced from from Western Australia. There we go. So from my understanding as well, Al and Jim, or one of them, has spent a fair bit of time in America learning how to make American-style whiskey as well. The whiskey. This bourbon-inspired whiskey is made in the traditional way using a Western Australian mash bill, 80% corn, 10% wheat, and 10% barley. Got it. Every process from mashing and fermenting to distilling is done in-house, and in brackets, under the watchful eye of Copper, the distillery dog. There we go. The spirit that drips out of their custom-built Copper continuous stills is then matured for at least 2 years in charred American white oak barrels. Okay, so that's something that I could not find on their website. There was no age statement, and there wasn't anything about the barrels that used. Anyways, let's get into it, because that's what we're all here for, because I think I've taken up probably 6 minutes of your time. So let's have a bit of a smell and a taste. Got to get every last drop out when it's only 30 mils. So it's a very golden. It's very golden. Let's have a quick look. Best thing about this, I've got a beautiful ring light, and it gives me the perfect way to check my. I don't know. You guys can't even see. He's there. There's basically no legs at all. Now I know that means not much, but normally. Yeah, okay. What's that smell? Ooh. Okay, right at the end I get a toffee. There's a banana-ishy butterscotch kind of smell to it. Is it banana? I know banana and butterscotch don't smell the same, but that's probably... maybe a bit of a banana thing. All right, let's have a taste anyway. Oh, wow. That's not what I was expecting. You could take a whole mouthful of that and not be hit with a massive amount of alcohol in your mouth. That's it. Look, that's a very, very smooth whiskey. It's very creamy. A bit of hint of the caramel and the butterscotch in there. I was expecting that to be a hell of a lot stronger, like flavor-wise, than what it is. I will make a comment, and I do not say this I'm trying not to say this in the wrong way against this. It feels like a very weak whiskey. It doesn't have the flavor burst that I was expecting. Now, that in saying that though, it is a very enjoyable whiskey, and I could drink it a lot. I quite enjoyed drinking that. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I honestly thought that was going to be a real punchy kind of whiskey on that. Now, they do say that it is great in an old-fashioned to mix it with cola, which is not generally on people's websites. Put ice with it. I think that would be a great starter or straight base for a good old-fashioned. It's a very clean taste. Like it doesn't give you any shock of alcohol through your mouth or anything like that. It's a very, very clean taste. For $100 at 700 mils to use in old-fashioned, or to have something as a daily drinker that I can pick up and I don't have to worry about having to ease into it, which some whiskies I have to. I can't pick up a Yamazaki 12-year-old and just go, yeah, let's smash it. I have to ease into it, 1 or 2 drams of something else beforehand. That's actually quite good. It is also not what I expected. So that's very interesting. And that's the joys about learning whiskey and trying them. For the value for money, out of 10 for this, I would probably value this around the 7, 6.5 to about 7. Would I buy it? Yes, I would. I will put that on my list to get, because I know I can get it from my Dan Murphy's, which is good. And I know for a fact that, you know what? Sorry to drag this video out. This would be the perfect whiskey to add into a beginner's whiskey learning adventure or course or whatever, instead of using your Johnny Blacks or your Jamisons or all that kind of stuff, this would be quite good. Yes, I understand it's nearly double the price, but it is actually double the enjoyment in flavour. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, guys, thank you for checking in. Again, please leave me a comment on all of my mistakes I've made in this video, if I have. If you've had Upshot before, or if you're from Perth and you want to give them some love, leave me a comment. Make sure you subscribe and check in tomorrow, because I'm going to be doing another whiskey from the White Possum series. All right, guys, we'll catch you tomorrow. See ya.